Who says you need to be a millionaire to be a property investor? Do you know you stand to reap high rates of returns even as you're hunting for your first home during this downturn? But is it a good time to enter the property market right now, or is it wiser to hold out a little longer? And if so, for how much longer? How is it possible to determine the best or a fair price for your first or even next property? And what else do you need to know to protect yourself against the interests of self-seeking agents? And how can we even think of property investment when it's already so difficult to obtain a loan from the banks now? Well, Point Blank sets out to answer these questions for you.
Why people should recognize that they're actually investors, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't recognize that they're investors.
Yeah, I wouldn't see myself as one, like even if I were to buy a home for my own stay.
But the interesting thing is, by virtue that you want to sell for profit, makes you an investor, because it is exactly, property in that perspective is exactly an investment. Unless you say you're going to buy it and it's a piece of land, and you're going to build and you're going to stay there forever, then the consideration is very, very different. But if you're going to buy, stay for a few years and sell, then you should, the person should actually consider something that they can actually sell it for. And then they should consider things like, are they buying at the best price? Is it the best value? Should they buy it for the first place, in the first place? So these are things that we are saying that as a investor or as a homeowner, they should look at, because there's a distinct in psyche, and it's a distinct in psyche that gets a lot of frustration. For example, if you say you like this property because it suits your taste, it's near your mother's house, it's near good schools, and you're going to pay high price because of that. But when you later on sell, the person who's going to buy for you may not see those as benefits, and that is where this distinct comes in. Okay, and because of this distinct comes in, you're not able to meet what everyone is asking. And in the end, you feel very frustrated because you're asking yourself, hey, I thought this is a very good property, why can't I sell? And why don't people I get a lot of people coming to ask me, say, oh, is this property good? Is that property bad? Okay. I always like to tell them this, at the end of the day, in my point of view, there's no such thing as a good and bad property. Just as there's no such thing as a good and bad car. Some people may like a certain brand of car because it suits their temperaments, it suits their budget. It doesn't mean that other cars are bad. Similarly, for properties, there's no such thing as good or bad property. It's more of, does it suit the individual's or the investor's budget? Does it suit his needs? So let's say, for example, if someone wants to is looking for a family home, does a small place in town suit his needs? If it does, then I would say he would consider it as a good property. If it doesn't, then maybe not. But does it mean that it's a bad property? No. To someone else, it might be a good property because he's a bachelor. He likes to stay in town because it's very convenient. To him, it's a good property. On top of looking at it as a place they like to stay, consider the investment aspect of it. So that once they consider that, they will have an easier time to sell, because they'll ask questions like, they will really ask questions like, is it value for money? Is it a good price? Can I sell it? These are things that they will have asked beforehand. And we are saying that, okay, these five, this is a proprietary self-coined approach. It's called the R.I.G.H.T approach.